Your life is the sum of your habits. Every choice you make, no matter how small, is shaping the person you are becoming. Atomic Habits by James Clear is a revolutionary guide that teaches you how tiny, consistent actions can lead to remarkable results. This book is not about motivation. It's not about willpower. It's about designing your environment, shaping your identity, and mastering the system that drives your behavior. Inside, you'll learn how to make good habits obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. Break bad habits effortlessly. Harness the power of small changes to transform your life. Align your habits with the person you want to become. If you want lasting success, real change, and unstoppable growth, it doesn't come from one moment of effort. It comes from small habits repeated consistently, day after day. Welcome to the science of transformation. Welcome to Atomic Habits. The fundamentals. Why small habits make a big difference. Introduction. My story. James Clear begins Atomic Habits by sharing a life-changing incident from his teenage years. During a high school baseball game, he was hit in the face by a baseball bat. The injury was so severe that his nose was shattered, his skull fractured, and his brain swelled. He was rushed to the hospital and placed in intensive care. Doctors were unsure whether he would survive, and even less sure whether he would ever return to a normal life. His recovery was long, painful, and slow. Instead of trying to make dramatic changes overnight, James focused on small improvements, showing up to practice, studying a little every day, improving just slightly consistently. Over time, these tiny improvements compounded. He earned a spot on the college baseball team, became team captain, achieved academic success, eventually built a career teaching habit formation. This experience became the foundation of Atomic Habits. The central idea of Atomic Habits. The core idea of the book is simple. Tiny changes, when repeated consistently, lead to remarkable results. The word atomic has two meanings. One, something extremely small. Two, something extremely powerful. Atomic habits are small habits that may seem insignificant at first but create massive outcomes over time. Most people believe success comes from big decisions or sudden breakthroughs. James Clear argues that success is actually the result of daily systems, not life-changing moments. Why habits matter more than goals. Many people set goals like lose weight, get rich, become successful, be confident. But James Clear makes a powerful distinction between goals and systems. Goals focus on results, temporary motivation. Once achieved, direction is lost. Systems focus on process, daily actions, create long-term success. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Winners and losers often share the same goals. What separates them is the system they follow every day. The 1% better rule. Imagine improving by just 1% every day. At first, the change feels meaningless. But over 1 year, those small improvements compound into extraordinary growth. 1% better every day, 37 times better in a year. 1% worse every day, nearly zero progress. This is the power of compound growth applied to habits. Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. Why small habits are so powerful. Small habits are easy to start, require less motivation, reduce resistance, build consistency. Big changes fail because they rely on motivation. Small habits succeed because they rely on systems. Most people overestimate what they can do in 1 month and underestimate what they can do in 1 year. The plateau of latent potential. One of the biggest reasons people quit is because progress is not immediately visible. James Clear explains this using the concept of the plateau of latent potential. You put in effort. Results do not show up. You feel discouraged. You quit. But the truth is, progress is happening. It is just hidden below the surface. Breakthroughs often happen after long periods of invisible effort. Success is delayed, not denied. Why bad habits feel good and good habits feel hard. Bad habits feel good immediately, cause pain later. Good habits feel uncomfortable now, create rewards later. This mismatch between instant rewards and delayed rewards explains why people struggle with discipline. The human brain is wired to prioritize immediate pleasure over long-term benefits. Identity, the real key to lasting change. Most people try to change habits by focusing on outcomes. I want to lose weight. I want to be successful. I want to stop smoking. James Clear introduces a deeper approach. Identity-based habits. Instead of asking, what do I want to achieve? Ask, who do I want to become? Examples. I am a healthy person. I am a writer. I am someone who keeps promises to myself. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become. The 3 layers of behavior change. 1. Outcomes, what you get. 2. Processes, what you do. 3. Identity, what you believe. Lasting change happens when habits align with identity, not just goals. How habits work, the science behind behavior. The habit loop, the backbone of every habit. James Clear explains that every habit follows the same 4-step pattern, regardless of whether the habit is good or bad. This pattern is called the habit loop. The 4 steps of a habit. 1. Cue. 2. Craving. 3. Response. 4. Reward. This loop runs continuously in our lives and slowly shapes our behavior. Step 1. Cue, the trigger that starts the habit. The cue is the signal that tells your brain to initiate a behavior. Your brain is constantly scanning the environment for cues related to rewards. Common cues include time, morning, night, location, home, office, gym, emotional state, stress, boredom, happiness, other people, a preceding action. Examples: phone vibration, checking messages, feeling tired, drinking coffee, stress, scrolling social media. A habit does not begin with motivation. It begins with a cue. Step 2. Craving, the desire behind the habit. Cravings are the real drivers of habits. You do not crave the habit itself. You crave the change in state that the habit delivers. Examples: you do not crave a cigarette, you crave relaxation. You do not crave social media, you crave connection or novelty. You do not crave exercise, you crave feeling fit or confident. Cravings are the motivational force behind every habit. Without craving, there is no reason to act. Step 3. Response, the actual behavior. The response is the habit you perform. Whether you perform a habit depends on how motivated you are, how difficult the habit is. If a habit requires too much effort, you will avoid it. This is why easy habits repeat, hard habits disappear. We naturally follow the path of least resistance. Step 4. Reward, the end goal of the habit. The reward satisfies the craving and teaches your brain whether the habit is worth remembering. Rewards make habits enjoyable, signal success to the brain, release dopamine, reinforce future behavior. If a habit does not provide a reward, it will not last. What gets rewarded gets repeated. How habits become automatic. Each time you repeat a habit, your brain learns that this behavior solves a problem. It deserves to be repeated. Over time, the cue and reward become strongly linked. The habit becomes automatic. Conscious thinking reduces. This process is called automaticity. Habits free up mental energy so your brain can focus on other tasks. Habits are feedback loops. Habits create a continuous feedback loop. Cue triggers craving. Craving drives response. Response delivers reward. Reward reinforces craving. This is why bad habits are so hard to break. They provide fast rewards, even if the long-term cost is high. Why the brain loves instant rewards. The human brain evolved to value immediate survival. As a result, instant rewards feel powerful. Delayed rewards feel weak. Modern problems, obesity, addiction, procrastination, exist because immediate pleasure, delayed consequences. Good habits often fail because their rewards are delayed. The 2 phases of every habit. James Clear explains that habits can be divided into two phases. 1. The problem phase. Cue. Craving. 2. The solution phase. Response. Reward. To change a habit, keep the same cue and craving, but change the response. Introducing the 4 laws of behavior change. From the habit loop, James Clear creates a practical framework. The 4 laws. 1. Make it obvious. 2. Make it attractive. 3. Make it easy. 4. Make it satisfying. These laws explain how to build good habits, how to break bad habits. Good habits follow these laws. Bad habits violate them. Inverting the laws to break bad habits. To stop a bad habit. 1. Make it invisible. 2. Make it unattractive. 3. Make it difficult. 4. Make it unsatisfying. Habit change is not about willpower. It is about designing your environment and systems. Make it obvious, the first law of behavior change. Why awareness comes before change. James Clear begins this section by explaining an important truth. You cannot change a habit you are not aware of. Many of our daily actions are automatic. We wake up, check our phone, eat, react, and sleep, often without conscious thought. Habits are learned behaviors that operate below the level of awareness. To change them, we must first bring them into consciousness. The habit scorecard. To build awareness, James Clear introduces a simple but powerful tool called the habit scorecard. How the habit scorecard works. 1. Write down all your daily habits in order. 2. Label each habit as positive plus symbol, negative, neutral equals sign. Example, wake up equals, check phone, brush teeth plus, drink water plus, scroll social media. The goal is not judgment. The goal is clarity. Once you see your habits clearly, change becomes possible. Pointing and calling. Staying conscious. James Clear borrows a technique from Japanese railway systems called pointing and calling. Workers physically point at signals and say actions out loud to avoid mistakes. You can apply this to habits. I am opening Instagram instead of studying. I am choosing junk food instead of healthy food. This forces your brain to slow down and become aware. Environment is more powerful than motivation. One of the most important ideas in Atomic Habits is environment shapes behavior more than motivation. Most people believe success depends on discipline, willpower, motivation. James Clear argues, people succeed because their environment supports good habits. People fail because their environment encourages bad habits. How environment becomes the cue. Over time, your brain links habits to specific environments, not goals. Examples: bed sleeping, sofa watching TV, office desk working, kitchen eating. You do not decide to act. The environment silently nudges you. Make good habits obvious. To build a good habit, you must make its cue visible and obvious. Examples: keep a book on your pillow reading at night. Place running shoes near the door exercise. Keep water bottle on your desk, drink more water. What is obvious gets noticed. What gets noticed gets done. Habit stacking. Build new habits easily. James Clear introduces one of the most practical strategies in the book. Habit stacking. Habit stacking means attach a new habit to an existing habit. The formula: after I current habit, I will a new habit. Examples: after brushing my teeth, I will meditate for 1 minute. After pouring my morning coffee, I will read 1 page. After I sit at my desk, I will write 1 sentence. Existing habits act as natural cues for new ones. Choosing the right cue. Habit stacking works best when the existing habit is stable. The cue happens daily. The action is specific. Bad example: after work, I will exercise. Too vague. Good example: after I take off my shoes at home, I will change into workout clothes. Designing your environment for success. Instead of fighting bad habits, remove their cues. Examples: keep junk food out of the house. Leave phone in another room while studying. Log out of social media accounts. Out of sight, out of mind. Similarly, place good habit cues where you cannot ignore them. One space, one purpose rule. James Clear recommends assigning one clear purpose to each space. Examples: bed sleep only, desk work only, dining table eating only. When one space has multiple purposes, habits become confused. Focus decreases. Clear spaces create clear habits. Make it attractive, the second law of behavior change. Why we are drawn to certain habits. James Clear explains that attraction is what fuels motivation. The more attractive a habit is, the more likely it is to be repeated. Behind this attraction is a powerful chemical in the brain, dopamine. Dopamine is released not only when we experience pleasure, but when we anticipate pleasure. The anticipation of reward is what motivates action. This is why social media is addictive. Gambling is addictive. Fast food is addictive. The dopamine-driven feedback loop. The habit loop becomes stronger when dopamine is involved. Cue dopamine rises. Anticipation. Craving motivation increases. Response action. Reward satisfaction. The more dopamine released during anticipation, the more attractive the habit becomes. Why bad habits are so attractive. Bad habits are attractive because they promise quick rewards. They require little effort. They deliver instant pleasure. Modern environments are filled with high dopamine temptations. Good habits often struggle because rewards are delayed. Effort is required. Progress is slow. Temptation bundling. To solve this problem, James Clear introduces temptation bundling. Temptation bundling means pairing a habit you need to do with a habit you want to do. The formula: after I need habit, I will want habit. Examples: after I exercise, I can watch my favorite show. After I study, I can listen to music. After I clean my room, I can scroll social media. This makes good habits immediately attractive. Habit stacking plus temptation bundling. You can combine both strategies. Example: after I brew my morning coffee, current habit, I will meditate for 1 minute, new habit. While listening to my favorite music, temptation. This creates a strong habit chain. The role of culture and social norms. Humans are social creatures. We naturally copy the habits of people around us. James Clear identifies 3 groups whose habits we imitate. 1. The close family and friends. 2. The many, society and culture. 3. The powerful, successful or respected people. We imitate habits that help us belong. Join a group where your desired behavior is normal. If you want to build a habit, join a group where that habit is the norm. Examples: fitness group exercise becomes normal. Reading community reading feels natural. Entrepreneur circle growth mindset develops. When a habit helps you fit in, gain approval, earn respect, it becomes far more attractive. Identity and attraction. Habits are attractive when they align with identity. You do not want to go to the gym. You want to be the type of person who trains. The strongest form of motivation is identity-based motivation. How to make bad habits unattractive. To break a bad habit, highlight its negative consequences. Reframe it in a negative light. Example: smoking not stress relief but self-destruction. Junk food not comfort, but poor health. Procrastination not relaxation, but stolen future. This reduces craving. The role of mindset in habit attraction. Your thoughts shape how attractive a habit feels. Instead of saying, I have to work out, say, I get to work out. Small language shifts change emotional response. Make it easy, the third law of behavior change. Why simplicity beats motivation. James Clear explains that people do not fail because of lack of motivation. They fail because habits are too difficult. Human behavior follows the law of least effort. This means we naturally choose the option that requires the least energy. When given multiple choices, we pick the easiest one. If a habit feels hard, we avoid it. If it feels easy, we repeat it. Motion versus action. One common trap is confusing motion with action. Motion, planning, researching, thinking, preparing. Action, doing the behavior that produces results. Motion feels productive but does not create outcomes. Action creates results. You do not need to be perfect. You need to start. Reduce friction to build good habits. Friction is anything that makes a habit harder to do. To build good habits, reduce friction. Remove unnecessary steps. Examples: keep workout clothes ready. Open your book before sleeping. Save healthy food at eye level. To break bad habits, increase friction. Add obstacles. Examples: delete distracting apps. Unplug the TV. Store junk food out of reach. The power of environment design. Environment can either support habits or silently sabotage them. Good environment design makes the right choice the easy choice, the wrong choice the hard choice. Discipline becomes unnecessary when environment is well designed. The 2-minute rule. One of the most famous ideas in Atomic Habits is the 2-minute rule. The rule states, when you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes. Examples: read before bed, read 1 page. Exercise daily, put on workout shoes. Meditate, breathe for 2 minutes. This removes resistance and builds consistency. Why the 2-minute rule works. It lowers the starting barrier, creates consistency. It builds identity. It avoids perfectionism. A habit must be established before it can be improved. Standardize before you optimize. James Clear advises, master the habit of showing up before improving performance. Consistency comes before intensity. Once a habit becomes automatic, you can increase duration. You can increase difficulty. You can improve quality. Make habits inevitable. To make habits stick, prepare your environment in advance. This is called priming the environment. Examples: lay out gym clothes at night. Place notebook on desk. Fill water bottle in advance. These small actions make habits unavoidable. How technology can help or hurt. Technology reduces friction for good habits. Apps, reminders, increases friction for bad habits. App blockers. But uncontrolled technology makes bad habits effortless. Encourages distraction. Design your digital environment wisely. Make it satisfying. The 4th law of behavior change. Why satisfaction is essential for habits. James Clear explains a simple truth. What feels rewarding gets repeated. Human behavior is driven by the desire for satisfaction. If a habit does not feel satisfying, the brain will not remember it as valuable. The challenge with good habits is that their rewards are delayed. Their effort is immediate. Bad habits are the opposite. Immediate pleasure, delayed pain. The importance of immediate rewards. The human brain evolved in an environment where immediate rewards meant survival. Delayed rewards were uncertain. Because of this, we prefer instant feedback. We repeat behaviors that feel good now. To make good habits stick, we must bring future rewards into the present. Habit tracking. Make progress visible. One of the simplest ways to make habits satisfying is habit tracking. Habit tracking means recording each time you complete a habit. Seeing visible proof of progress. Examples: marking an X on a calendar. Using a habit tracking app. Maintaining a checklist. The most effective form of motivation is progress. The power of visual proof. When you see your progress, you feel successful. You feel satisfied. You are motivated to continue. This creates a positive feedback loop. Action, progress, satisfaction, repeat. Never break the chain. A popular method linked to habit tracking is never break the chain. The goal: build a streak. Avoid missing a day. Streaks turn habits into commitments. You do not want to break what you have built. What to do when you miss a day. James Clear offers a powerful rule. Never miss twice. Missing once is an accident. Missing twice is the start of a new habit. Perfection is not required. Consistency is. Accountability makes habits stick. Habits become more satisfying when there are clear consequences. This is where accountability comes in. Examples: workout partner, public commitment, coach or mentor. Knowing that someone is watching increases follow-through. Habit contracts. James Clear introduces the idea of a habit contract. A habit contract clearly defines the habit, sets consequences for failure, involves another person. Example: if I skip my workout, I donate money. If I break my diet, I do extra chores. The cost of an action must be immediate and painful. How to make bad habits unsatisfying. To break bad habits: remove pleasure, add discomfort, create immediate consequences. Examples: publicly committing to quit a habit. Financial penalties. Accountability partners. This rewires the brain to avoid the habit. Advanced tactics. How to go from good to great. The problem with just being consistent. James Clear explains that building habits is not the finish line. The real challenge is maintaining habits long-term, continuing to improve, avoiding boredom and stagnation. Many people start strong but quit once excitement fades. The greatest threat to success is not failure, but boredom. The Goldilocks rule. To stay motivated, habits must be not too easy, not too hard, just challenging enough. This idea is called the Goldilocks rule. Humans experience peak motivation when working on tasks that are right at the edge of their abilities. If a habit is too easy, boredom; too hard, frustration; just right, engagement. The flow state. When a task matches your skill level perfectly, you enter a mental state called flow. In flow, time passes quickly, focus increases, performance improves, enjoyment rises. Habits that consistently challenge you slightly are more likely to keep you engaged, grow your abilities, create long-term success. How to apply the Goldilocks rule to habits. Once a habit becomes automatic, increase difficulty slightly, add a small challenge, set a new standard. Examples: read 10 pages, then 15. Run 10 minutes, then 12. Write 200 words, then 250. Progress should be gradual, not extreme. The role of deliberate practice. Habits create consistency, but mastery requires deliberate practice. Deliberate practice means focusing on improvement, identifying weaknesses, making small corrections. Habits make practice automatic. Deliberate practice makes improvement possible. The difference between motion and mastery. Many people repeat the same habit without improving. This leads to plateaus, stagnation, lack of growth. To avoid this, reflect regularly, measure progress, adjust strategies. Reflection and review. James Clear emphasizes the importance of reviewing habits. Regular reviews help you see what is working, identify what is failing, make better decisions. Examples: weekly review, monthly reflection, yearly evaluation. Reflection turns experience into insight. When habits become the enemy. Habits can be dangerous when identity becomes too rigid. You resist change. You cling to outdated behaviors. Example: I am a runner refusing to rest when injured. I am productive overworking. The goal is not to follow habits blindly, but to serve your values. The downside of goals revisited. James Clear revisits goals with a deeper insight. Goals are temporary. Systems last longer. Identity must evolve. If identity becomes fixed, growth stops. How to make habits work for you. Conclusion and final lessons. The truth about talent, genetics, and habits. James Clear addresses a common question. Do habits work the same for everyone? The answer is no. People are different because of genetics, personality, natural strengths, interests. Habits work best when they align with who you are. The best habits are the ones that fit your nature. Play a game that favors your strengths. Instead of forcing yourself into habits that feel unnatural, choose habits that match your personality. Design systems that suit your strengths. Examples: introverts writing deep work, extroverts group workouts, networking, morning people early routines, night people evening habits. Success comes faster when effort feels natural, not forced. Pick the right habit arena. James Clear explains that everyone competes in different arenas. You do not need to be the best in the world. You need to be the best in the right environment. Example: a slow runner may fail in sprinting. The same runner may excel in long distance. When habits align with natural ability, consistency becomes easier. Habits and long-term success. Short-term success comes from goals, motivation, inspiration. Long-term success comes from systems, habits, identity. True mastery is not about intensity. It is about sustainability. The role of identity revisited. At the deepest level, habits shape beliefs, self-image, confidence. Every habit is a vote for your identity. You do not need perfection. You need consistency. Becoming someone is better than achieving something. How to keep improving for life. James Clear emphasizes lifelong improvement through small changes, regular reflection, continuous adjustment. Success is not a finish line. It is a direction. The danger of stagnation. Even good habits can become limiting if you stop reflecting, you stop adjusting, you refuse to evolve. Growth requires awareness, flexibility, curiosity. The ultimate message of Atomic Habits. James Clear concludes with the core philosophy. Small habits do not add up. They compound. Tiny decisions repeated daily shape your health, your wealth, your mindset, your future. Final key takeaways from Atomic Habits. Small habits create massive results over time. Focus on systems, not goals. Identity is the foundation of behavior. Environment shapes actions more than willpower. Make habits obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. Choose habits that fit your personality. Consistency beats intensity. Improvement is a lifelong process. Final thought. Your outcomes are a lagging measure of your habits. Your habits are a reflection of your identity. Change your habits, and your life will follow. And now, remember this: your life will not change in one dramatic moment. It will change quietly, in the small decisions you make every single day. Every habit you repeat is shaping your future. Every action is casting a vote for the person you are becoming. You don't need massive discipline. You don't need perfect motivation. You need small habits done consistently. When progress feels slow, don't quit. That is the moment your habits are working beneath the surface. Fix your systems. Protect your environment. Honor your identity. Because success is not built in a day. It is built one habit at a time. Start small. Stay consistent. And let your habits create the life you deserve.